get ready. Thanks, Nelson.
Hello, everybody. My name is Nelson from Gaborone, Botswana. I'm going to share with you um, what I know about omega 3. Um, Now, ever since I started the New Life business, I've always thought that this is one of the products that one cannot stay without. It's so important for you to have this product at all times. Um, you simply because we know we have our brains grow, and brain cells will need this product very badly. So this is something that you cannot get away from. um I'm not saying that you cannot, you that's the only product, but I'm saying this is one of the most important products that one has to think about. Omega 3 salmon oil plus, as we call it, is a fish oil supplement, and it's very rich in omega fatty acids like EPA and DHA and others. And like I've just said, it supports brain function and mental health. The DHA helps maintain normal brain and function and cognitive performance. So we think brain actually when you think about this product. We also think about the heart. It promotes heart and cardiovascular health. Um, it's like we know as well, as we grow actually, our heart as well is growing. It needs serious supplements. So somebody cannot stay without this product. If you don't, you have a poor heart, you cannot. There's no way you can enjoy life with a poor heart. Everything else will crash down when your heart is not healthy. It reduces the inflammation. What I've noticed actually from this product as well is you get like I've seen some people who there's a patient who has really bruised. I think really bruised seriously, and when you gave them this omega 3, that bruising came down and they were able to walk. Um, although the cause of the bruising was not known, but eventually they were able to walk, and everything got back to normal. But at that time, it was not like they were given only two omega 3s. It was something like six to start with for 5 days. And then after that, it normalizes to two. And that's how the person survived. So it reduces inflammation seriously. Um, it improves joint flexibility. Our joints, as we grow as well, there's a serious problem that I see actually with our joints. There's something that you cannot reverse. If you are not going to attend to this area in life, you're not going to reverse it. You will keep limping, and the doctors will try what they can. They can give you this and that, all those synthetics and stuff. It's not. You're not going to recover. You're not going to be well. So it's so important to have omega 3. It supports eye health. So there are so many organs actually in our bodies as we grow. You think about the brain. You think about your joints. You think about your eyes. Those really grow with you, and they really need omega 3. It contains all the eight omega fatty acids, like I've just said, the EPA and the DHA. Actually, to conclude about omega 3, I must say, when you think about omega 3, this is on top of our heads. You think the heart, you think the brain, you think your eyes, you think the joints, you think your eye and overall health or overall wellness. So this is what you think about. So on top of your head, at least you have all these. You don't have to crack a lot. It's so simple to remember about omega 3. So that's all I can say. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Nelson. That is great. And that's so simple to remember. The brain, the heart, the joints, and I've forgotten. What was the fourth one?
Your
Nelson?
eyes.
The eyes, absolutely so important. Yes, you're quite right. Thank you so much.
Mm.
Good. Any testimonies on Omega that anyone can talk about? I've got a friend who he's here. He's got diabetes. He's got neuropathy, and he loves his bowls. But the shoulder gets so sore that he can't move and he can't lift the shoulder up. And I gave him omega 3, and he takes 2 or 3 omegas a day. And the moment that he's off his omegas, he says, and he comes running. He says, and the one time he tried to buy some stuff in town because it was cheaper, and it didn't work. So he had to come back, and he says, "No, I'll never get off your product again. It is an amazing thing." Margaret, would you like to say a couple of words on that one as well?
Yeah, just with my in-house presentations, some things came up. This client also suffers from migraines, so we'll see how that works for her. But with our changing in the formula, not being just salmon oil, but now being fish oils, it's important to remember that all the clinical trials remain valid because the product still delivers the same values of omega 3. And then some clients are, or people are very proud of the fact that they do take a supplement that gives omega 3, 6, and 9. But the ideal ratio should be omega 3 to omega 6, 1 to 1. But the current norm is 1 to 40. We get plenty of omega 6 and 9 from other oils and nuts and things like that. So it doesn't balance out the ratios if you take a supplement that has all three, because we need to boost the omega 3s in particular. And then also, vegans and vegetarians often take flaxseed supplements or to boost their omega 3. But again, that is rich in omega 3. But again, it comes with 6 and 9. So it's not going to restore the balance.
Excellent.
So things to keep in mind when you speak to clients.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Andy?
Anyone else? Keith, I see you unmuting yourself.
Yeah, can I just say that a lot of folks don't get the point of omega having 8 different molecules. Our competitors will have one, two, and maybe three. It's like selling fruit to people. One vendor sells fruit, but he only sells apples. Another vendor sells fruit, and he gives you apples and strawberries and lemons and limes and everything. So omega 3 has got 8 completely different molecules in them, and they're all valid. They're important in bringing down inflammation and so on. Yeah, just something to remember.
Thank you, Keith. Appreciate that. Anyone else, Mark?
Yeah, Andy, while you were talking, I just pulled up something. My daughter, who did a BSc, was fascinated to see what the Neolife product compared to others. So she asked ChatGPT, and maybe it'll take me about a minute or so to read this. And this is what the response was. Dischem's, and she didn't put any particular brand. She just made reference to the Neolife and for a comparison. And it says here, Dischem's option is inexpensive and accessible, but only provides 400 milligrams of EPA and DHA, below the recommended threshold. Neolife offers a higher potency, 940 milligrams, better sourcing, cleaner processing, though at a higher cost and without third-party confirmation. Brackets, Neolife's internal standards are higher than industry standards. This is what ChatGPT is saying. And then in bold, if you're aiming for optimal EPA and DHA levels and value for money in quality, Neolife Omega 3 Plus is clearly the superior local option. But if you're just looking for a budget-friendly filler, Dischem might suffice, though boosting intake or switching later would likely be necessary.
Quite interesting. Yes. In fact, while we're on that, I think it's a very good thing. I use ChatGPT a lot as well. And I'm very specific. You must be specific when you're loading stuff in. I say, I want to know what Neolife products are best for this particular thing, or in a nutritional. If giving a nutritional support program for a particular challenge, what are the Neolife products that are best suited for this? And it will give it to you, and it'll give you a whole reason as to why. It might come along and suggest a couple other things, and don't be shy to argue, because a little while ago I printed out the thing for neuropathy, and I had a whole program on lifestyle choices, nutritional supplements, dietary changes, and I could then go along to my friend and say, here we are. And he's the one who's now had his blood tested, and we're going to see the before and the after on the program. So it's really lovely to work with a tool like this, but you must be specific. One of the things that the ChatGPT did not mention was a botanical balance. And thanks, Marks, because you actually showed me and said, hang on a second, that's not in there. And I had to go back. Now ChatGPT will remember next time. It will never forget to put botanical balance in. So we can educate this thing as we're feeding in as well. So please do that and argue. It's just a computer. It doesn't matter. It's not going to get offended. Push the buttons and push the envelope and have a great time. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Mark, Keith, and everyone who participated, Marks, on that part. We're going to move on, and we're going to another person that really doing an outstanding job in Botswana is Siatolo Tumedi. You know, Siatolo lives way up north, and now, for instance, I went into Gaborone. She had to travel, get lifts and things, and it took her hours and hours to get back to her place of work. But she's in and out and supporting her downlines amazingly right. And some of her downlines are on this call tonight as well. But the support that she gives to her downlines, from not by just sitting on the cell phone, but by actually her presence in their homes. And I can see the difference, and I can see the PV production throughout all her team in an amazing way. Siatola is going to talk to us tonight, and that's her phone that's making that noise. If we can get reception, she's way up north, on the self-talk. Thanks, Siatolo. Sia, over to you. That's exciting. Okay, I'm going to continue with the program. And when she comes in later on, Marina, if you can just work with her somehow, give her notes. I'm going to talk a little bit about tonight about closing the sale. You know, are you there, Sia?
Yes, I think so.
Yes, I can hear
Hello?
you. Go ahead. We hear you.
Hear me now? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Andy, for this opportunity. But let me first steal one moment to talk about my blessing for the week, which was Andy visiting us last week in Botswana. You know, we were so excited. Thank you very much for that. I'm going to talk about the self-talk. Network marketing is a business model that is wrought with challenges that all distributors go through like a rite of passage. And it is because of such challenges that we find the concept of personal development being one of the aspects of this business. It is very much emphasized in this business. Through personal development, both Neolife International and the Eagle team in particular do all that is necessary to equip us with some personal development skills which are meant to help us gain strength and resilience. And even more importantly, they are meant to help us to be ready for success, to get ready for success when it comes. So in this business, we harvest these skills, the personal development skills, from in this presentation. I'm going to be using a lot of stuff that I got from you guys, all those who have presented before. So we harvest these skills from like reading positive literature, those positive books, The Magic of Thinking Big, and all the others. From building the dream charts, when we are being taught how to build, how to construct our dream charts, and of course the self-talk. And now the focus on tonight is on the self-talk. And we should note that most of us come from societies that are grossly negative, like the news broadcasts, the newspaper reports, now the social media. And you add to that some of the ways that we have been brought up. It is all geared for negativity. So the self-talk, therefore, comes for us a mindset change tool that we can and should use to change our view, to discipline our minds, to discipline our thoughts, to discipline our words, to discipline our language, in short. I remember the last time in Pretoria at the summit, Rico saying to us, we must start saying more of these, saying, I can, I do, I will. And okay, so here I want to touch on some of the skills, some of the tips rather, some of the tips that I got from all of you guys. And I think one of the tips is from the AI, yeah, on how to prepare the self-talk. Number one, that we should write it down. Write down your self-talk. You know, those psychoanalysts tell us that there is magic in writing. That is why maybe even in our training, it is always been stressed that we should write our goals, write our days down. So you write down your self-talk. And to that, you should talk to yourself completely in positive terms, no negatives. And that you should always use the present tense while preparing the self-talk, while doing the self-talk, not the past tense. And 4, that we should also always talk as if what we wish for has already been achieved, because we are trying to influence the subconscious mind. And number 5, that we should repeat the self-talk as often as you can. I know that sometimes it is said that we should repeat it like 3 times a day, like when you wake up in the morning, the first thing when you wake up, upon waking up, do your self-talk. And because by then, in the morning and the last thing at night, the mind is at that time kind of, is it permeable, the word that can be used there? And because while doing we should also bear in mind that while doing the self-talk, we are mostly communicating. We want this communication to go to the subconscious mind. And so morning, midday, because as you go around about in the day, you are bound to meet some negatives, and you want the self-talk to help with that. And here I want us to note here what the AI has said. What the AI says. It says, I don't know whether it's a she or a he or what. Anyway, it says that we should not try to make because repetition here is very, very important, but we should not make it seem like a chore, because otherwise the subconscious mind will recognize that as a chore, and as and therefore that would it would be a form of stress, and that would be kind of counterproductive. And number 6, it says you should add to your self-talk, add emotion, feeling to the self-talk, and that we should even use gestures as we do the self-talk. You add emotion, and also you add action. You can't just be saying these things that you wish for without adding action. Otherwise, it would be counterproductive. And the AI here says that saying, this goes back to how often we should say, we should repeat it. And AI says saying it once, saying the self-talk once, said when you say it with feeling, beats when you say it 5 times, when you are just mumbling it. And after saying all that, maybe I should share with you a sample of my own self-talk, which I also shared. I was also able to share it with the AI, and it gave me feedback, which was very interesting, which I don't have time to touch on here. But anyway, here is the sample of my own self-talk. This is on abundance because we some of us grew up in situations where there's so much scarcity, etc., and the mind thinks just scarcity, and one wants to help the mind that way. So it says, I dream abundance always. I think abundance every time. I see abundance everywhere. I speak abundance every minute. I breathe in abundance with every breath I inhale. I breathe out abundance with every breath I exhale. I live abundance every moment. I enjoy abundance. Chaque fois. In conclusion, I would like to say that the self-talk is and can be an empowering tool for us, depending on how we handle it. And I thank you for listening.
Thank you, Sia. That's really marvelous. Yes, there's some very, very good points over there. Write it down. Talk it in positive terms. Everything to be positive. Well done. Present tense, so important. And what you wish for has already been achieved. Repeat as often as you can. It's so important. Read that. We all get lazy on the self-talk. We really always do. And it must be not seen as a chore. And it's very important. And put that emotion into it. Really believe it, see it, feel it, and experience it. The closer you get to the experiencing your self-talk, the more it's going to work for you. So thank you so much for sharing your whole vision of abundance. And I'm sure that in Botswana, we're going to see that, and it's going to explode like crazy. Okay. Anyone like to comment on that or say anything on that one? Anyone who's got a favorite, how their self-talk has helped them? Cool. We're going to move on. One of the biggest challenges that we have in our business is closing the sale. And I'm sure you find this so often that with people, you talk to them, you give them some sort of a tool, a link or whatever, you get them to the presentation, they see the presentation, and then nothing. It just fizzles. They just don't seem to get something. And I think it's what's important for us to realize is that every one of us, everyone that we speak to, has a different readiness quotient. What do I mean by that? Well, when you speak to them, when you come in to close the sale, some people who are entrepreneurs and who are dynamic and who are used to making instant decisions, they say, where's the form? Let me get started. But 90% of people are not in that mode. 90% of people have been brought up to get a good education so you can go get a good job and someone else can tell you what to do. People are not trained to make a decision. People now to start a business of their own. This sounds very exciting, but it's daunting. They're not there. So closing the sale is a process. And I really want to say that maybe before I even get started on my presentation, the key thing is, as is all business, is maintain the conversation. Keep the conversation going. Whatever you do, keep the conversation going. So you might find, and they open up a little bit and they say, yeah, I have this, I'm not so sure about this, and I'm not so sure about network marketing, and I've never been in, but whatever their excuses are, they are valid. They're absolutely valid. And so it's very important that the very first thing that you do is listen. Listen to what they're saying. And even if they say, I don't have the money, well, then question, What do they mean they don't have the money? You don't have the money for the kit. You don't have the money to run a business. What do you mean you haven't got the money? Okay, so open it, but ask them the question. First of all, just make sure your ears are all zeroed in. You're not giving them anything. Number two, once you've listened to what they've got, and remember, the goal of this meeting is not to sign them up. The goal of this meeting is to get them to the next meeting, to give them enough information to make an informed decision to get to the next meeting. Ultimately, the time will come when their readiness quotient is hot enough to say, yes, let's start the business. All of us try and rush people in because we want to get that extra person in. We want to get this, we want to get that. We have our own agendas. It must not be our own agendas, it must be their agenda. So then after you find out what their challenge is, then relate. Always get with them. How do you get a person out of a current? You swim with them in the current and slowly pull them to the side and out of the current. You don't swim against the current. You're not going to give them the 10 reasons why they're absolutely wrong with their thing. No, you're not. You know what? You'll say, you know what? When I started this business, I never had a cent either. I know exactly how you feel. It's so intimidating, man. But let me tell you a story, okay? And what happened with us, and tell them a story. Give that you're actually there with them. You're swimming with them with this whole thing. And now you want to go through and perhaps someone else's story, okay? And then you want to get them to the next meeting. You want to get them to the next situation where you can sit down and say, you know what, if I could give you a testimony, would you definitely listen to it? And give them a testimony of someone else who's been successful in the business somewhere else. So take the picture of yourself, let them get to the point they can make their own decisions. And then get some onto more questions, and then more questions are going to go through, and you're going to repeat the cycle again. I relate, I feel, I know, I felt like that, and what I found this and I found that. So feel, felt, found. After you've listened to them, then give them the story, and then give them the next tool, give them the next whatever it is that you want to give them. Okay. But now I want to wrap up tonight, and I want us just to realize what we all have in this business. And so I'm going to share, oops, where's my screen? I need to share my screen first, I think. And there we go. And just talk about, in closing the sale, no, that's the wrong one. I've opened up the wrong, oh, that's exciting. I've opened up the wrong file. I was going to share something else. Okay, but let's go through this one. I've done this before with you, but let's go through 6 questions to close the sale. Okay. Now, our pipeline that we talk about every week, it's about getting names, texting, phoning people, doing an interview, talking to them, showing them the concept sketch, showing them the 622 plan, getting them to a presentation or getting them to watch a video, all of these things. And now when we come to closing the sale, the key is for you to be not the salesman. We are not salesmen. You are a consultant. This is so important that you understand and feel that. And what does a consultant do? Consultants ask lots of questions. So your focus is not the company. Your focus is not on the products. Your focus is not on the Eagle team. The focus is not even on you. They don't want to hear your story. Okay, not yet. It's always and only all about your prospect. So important that you handle that the prospect, this person is not, they don't know what they can do. They don't understand the business. This is such a new concept for them. Be gentle. And so you want to ask them, get them to questions. So this is your strategy. Number 1, you're a farmer. You sow seeds. So what happens is they give you their problems and you give them a seed. You irrigate with more questions and you build the relationship. And remember, the object of the meeting, the object of this particular interaction is to book an appointment for the next interaction. Okay, that's always there. You're not a salesman. Salesmen are hunters. They're in for the kill. We are farmers. We're sowing the seeds and allowing them to germinate and to grow, and to ultimately they can produce a harvest 100-fold. Okay. So what are the 5+1 questions that we need to ask? Question number one, what did you like best? What did you like best? You see, um, this question doesn't ask them, says, well, are you in or you out? What do you think about the presentation? Their minds shut down. They can't think about the present. It's too much to present the whole thing. So what did you like best? They now compartmentalize it, pull it to pieces, and say, hey, I like that the best. I like the fact that you can make a lot of money. I like the fact that there's a whole lot of products that can increase my health. Let them tell you what it is. It's so important. So, and then you can go and you dig deeper, ask more questions. So you say you like the products, but what did you really like about the products? You heard Nelson's talk tonight about omega-3, and there were 4 areas that he stressed over there. Which particular areas of importance to you? Okay. And it forces them to find something good of what they've just seen. Now, again, we're just talking, we're just chatting. And even if they say, oh, I'm not so sure, well, just for fun. Pick on something that you liked, because it gives you a launch pad to speak to them. Roll with them, like I say, just for fun. Hypothetically, um, you know, you say you like the money. So hypothetically, you get going in this business. How much would you like to make? Okay. Question number 2. On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you with this? So we've had the small talk. We've got them just to open up a little bit and to evaluate and compartmentalize the presentation. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you with this? Okay. 10 is I can't wait. I'm hot. I'm entrepreneur. I need to sign up. And 1 is unsure or not at all. But even a 1 can be taken up to the 10 if you break down all the reservations. If you see this in this mode, there's a race that they do in athletics called hurdles. And in the hurdles, you've got the 100-meter hurdles. There's probably about 10 hurdles that need to get over. If the person is a 1, well, you've got 10 hurdles in front of you to get them over. And you know what? They can be a dynamic downline if you just take them over those hurdles. So analyze, what was the first hurdle? What was the problem? What was the challenge? Why? What you say you're unsure? You're only a 1 on this thing. So what are your reservations? Okay, and get the reservations, and then you're going to say, I know exactly what you mean. I felt the same way. Okay, and you did have that reservation. I guarantee you had that reservation, but you moved on from there. Okay. Now, and don't give answers to all your questions to your questions. And you ask the question and then want to give the answer. They must give the answers to the questions. Again, silence is the winner. Allow them to share their reservations and their need for more questions to be answered most times. Okay, so just for fun, play along with me. Hypothetically, if you started working in your life, just part-time, okay, approximately how much would you need to earn to make it worth your time? Hypothetically, okay, just between you and me. You know what you're going to be surprised about? They're going to tell you numbers like 500 Rand, 300 Rand, maybe 700 Rand. You're thinking in thousands because you're thinking you want to be a director somewhere. They just want the 500 Rand. And I'm telling you now, get your person started at 500 Rand, because that's the first thing they're going to be earning is 100, 200, 300 Rand. And then they get to the 500, they can believe for 700. When they get to 700, they'll believe to 1,000, just like you, just like you. Okay, so let's be reasonable with people and allow them to say what they want to say. Question number 5. How many hours could you realistically put in per week to earn that kind of money? Okay, how much would you realistically like to earn? Okay, fantastic. So how many hours could you realistically put in per week to earn that? Oh, I could put in 4, 5 hours. They'd probably say 10 hours. They're very generous in the hours that they're going to volunteer for this. Okay. That's really is the fact. And then question number 5, how many months would you be willing to work per week to earn that extra money? Okay, so if you had to put those extra hours in at work, how much would you? How long would it take before the boss gave you the raise? Okay, type of thing. So now we get to if I would you. If I could show you how you can earn, this is prepared for Botswana, pula, okay, or rands, or whatever your currency is. If I could show you how to earn 500 rand a month or 500 pula a month, working 4 hours, 5 hours a week for the next 9 months, would you be interested in getting started? Or exposure to the next event, exposure to the next meeting. So don't let the fish off the hook here. If this is not going to be enough, then fine. We're going to go back. There's more questions to be answered. Go back, explain to them, and away you go. So what you need in your closing tools also have in your bag. I have in my computer bag all the time a sign up form, because I like to give a piece of paper to a person they can sign. When they say, yes, let's get started, fill in the form. When I give them the license to go along and find a link and fill in the link, they've got control. I don't have the control. So have an idea. You need to have a compensation plan, brochures, gift. I'll just give that. Have a gift. If someone signs up with you, give them a gift. So I hope that you got something out of that tonight, because it's just a short little presentation on closing your sale, and I hope that it can help you do that in your next presentation for your next prospect. On Thursday, because I'll be doing the presentation on Thursday, so I'm hoping that you all close. I will always phone or text my person directly after the presentation. I will never, if I see my guest is on there, but I'm doing the presentation, most times I can't see if they're on, but immediately I want to talk to them and start asking them those questions. Okay. So what do you like the most? And go through and close the sale with them. Okay. Otherwise, next Monday will be a chance, God willing, that we can do a recognition rally. So all you World Team members, I need to know what's in your teams, what recognition you need to give to your teams. And we'll put out on the facilitators group tomorrow probably the recognition levels and things that we do. But let us be good finders. Man, we have got the most amazing bunch of people. There's 50, 60 people on again tonight. And I know the only reason they're here is because they're passionate about this business and want to make it better and want to grow their businesses. So we want to find out what we can do to say good things about you, because you are the best. And it's lovely chatting to you. That's all for tonight. Thank you so much. And Marina is now in charge. I put her in charge of recording.